With the stylish L3, iNew finally sends a proper replacement for the V3 on the market. The L3 comes with a 5-inch HD display, double-sided Gorilla Glass, built-in IR blaster, alloy frame and a special nano coating that makes it water resistant. I'm s7yler and this is my full review of the iNew L3 from efox-shop.com. I have now used the L3 for almost a week and can say that everything works just fine and that it, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful design phones that I have tested for a long time. In many ways the L3 resembles the Sony Xperia Z3, but the L3 is truly both thinner, actually just 7.1mm, and more comfortable in the hand. Just like the Sony Z3, the iNew L3 also has a round button on the right side. The alloy frame is slightly round and when you pick it up you feel the nice glass design and that the build quality is top notch. Overall the phone both looks and feels very premium in the hand. For design lovers, this is clearly one of the best looking MediaTek phones out right now. The hardware on the other side is just average, not super high end, but it still does most things very good. Inside the L3 we find the MTK 6735 quad-core clocked at 1.3 GHz. It has 2 GB RAM and 16 GB ROM, dual micro SIM with 4G LTE support and Android 5 with OTA support. It also features things like a 16 megapixel IMX214 Sony main camera, fast charging with 1.5 amp, notification LED and capacitive touch buttons with backlight. So now let me show you the accessories that you get together with the phone. First of all, you have the wall charger and you can see it's branded with iNew. We have a CE logo and this one here is on 5 volt 1.5 amp. So this will charge a little bit faster than a normal standard charger. Then there is also the micro USB cable, just a standard normal one. There are some cheap headphones included, and I say cheap because you can see the quality is nothing special. There's a small pin included to open up the dual SIM tray. There's an extra screen protector, and of course there will also be a screen protector on the phone. There's also a matte hardcase that will protect the back and the corners. And last, there are some papers. We also see something for the Nano Technology. So here it's all explained. And the quick start guide with a lot of pictures. So you can see how you can insert the 2 SIMs. So that's it. Let's have a look at the phone design. On the top we find the light and proximity sensor, a notification LED in red or green, the ear speaker together with a good 5 megapixel OmniVision front camera. The phone has a good 5-inch 720p HD display, and whatever the front and rear really is Gorilla Glass, I'm a little bit unsure about, but it feels good and seems to be pretty scratch resistant. In the bottom we find the menu, home and back buttons, which all are illuminated. On the back side, which is non-removable and made of glass, we find a good 16 megapixel rear camera with Sony sensor, and I do believe that it is interpolated in some degree, and we also find a strong single LED flash. Inside the phone we will also find a 2150 mAh battery, and I actually tested the capacity to be about 1950 true mAh, and the charger can charge it at 1.5 amp. And last we have the rear speaker, which provides average sound quality, definitely not the worst I have heard, but also don't expect anything special. In the bottom of the phone we find the micro USB port with USB OTG support and the microphone. On the right side we find a round power button. In the top we find the 3.5mm headphone jack together with an infrared sensor for remote control. And last, on the left side we have a dual micro SIM tray and the volume rocker. So let's have a look at the SIM tray. And this tray just supports 2 micro SIMs, so there is unfortunately no possibility to insert an extra micro SD card. So that's something you have to deal with. And if you see the phone from the front, you can see the glass is totally black. I really like that because it looks like one big piece. And let's turn it on. Let's unlock, and what we see here right now is the launcher with themes. So there are 2 different launchers pre-installed on the phone. One that is nearly stock, and then this one here that support themes. I'm using this one here because as you can see, it also allows me to have 5 icons here in the bottom, and we also have some effects for the icons, and the whole layout for the icons, the colors, the shape and so on, you can change. There's a theme store where you can download a lot of the new themes for the phone. Let me just scroll a little bit here first in the UI. And you can see it's pretty snappy and fast, no lag whatsoever. You also see that there are backlight here in the touch buttons. We have capacitive touch buttons, menu, home and back. And it's nice to see that they have added backlight for these buttons and not just painted them in silver. The phone also, as told in the beginning, support notification LED here in the top. And it's not always a normal thing that they include both things. I have had a lot of China phones in the past that only had a notification LED, but then was missing light in the buttons or vice versa. So I really like that they included both. And this launcher here also does not have any kind of app drawer. So all the icons, all the apps are placed just on the desktop. Of course you can create folders and put them in folders. Let's first have a look at the stock apps. So these are pre-installed on the phone. We even have an app called iNew, but I think this is some kind of QR scanner. We have camera 360, radio, and also it comes with the MediaTek tool here, multi-core observer. Don't know really why, but it was on the phone. And these apps I installed myself, some test apps, and the same here with these. You can also below here click to change the page. We have dedicated pages for the camera. You see that here. You can scroll. You can activate the camera directly. We also have the music player. Let's try to have a look inside the menu. So here we have edit mode, apps, wallpaper, ringtones, system settings and desktop settings. Let me just very quickly show you this. We have some options for the shader effect, page effect and particle effect. So right now I've set this to none, but you can like snow or star effects when you use the touch screen. We have page effect. Edit mode. Let me just show you this here. And we have the widgets. So the phone also supports double tap to wake. See this here. And let me also try to slide up. This will unlock directly. I can also draw a M for the music player, so this will start up the music player. Let me try to slide down. Yep, so here you see now the second launcher or the first launcher. This launcher came when you booted the phone for the first time. And you can see the icons are a little bit different now. And this launcher here does not support themes. But actually I like the fact that I can change the icons and the theme. So that's why I changed to the other launcher. And just have to click here on the home button. And it will return to this. So only when I slide down it will go back to the other launcher. If I don't do that, it will always keep me here in the themed launcher. Let's see the quick toggles. They are pretty normal. Notice also I'm using below half of the brightness right now. So we have auto rotation, but you can see here that there's no animation in the auto rotation. So this means this is not 5.1. We are using here Android 5.0. Let me show you the highest brightness. And let me also show you the lowest. So regarding the IR Blaster in the top, actually there was no kind of IR Blaster app pre-installed, but I just installed this from the Play Store, a smart remote. And this is working great. Actually it was made I think for Samsung devices. But just install this, learn your TV or your satellite receiver and so on. And it will work just like a normal IR Blaster, and the range and the speed is actually pretty good. So that's a very useful thing, that you can use the phone also as a remote control. And now let me show you something with the themes. So we see theme and change skin, which when you just click on the change skin, it will change by itself. You can see now it has a different look. Let's try this again. This one here. Or this black and gold. And let me try to show you the theme store. Actually these are free, you don't have to pay anything. So these are the local online to download. And here now I look at the viewing angle from the bottom. Let's try the viewing angles from the sides. Also very good and nice. From the top, about the same. So it looks good. IPS display in HD. And while I tested the phone, I did not experience any ghost touches, pressure marks, clouding, pixel errors or back bleeding. So the display seems to be in a perfect quality. And let's also have a look here at the Wi-Fi, the network. So you can see the Wi-Fi is pretty good. The network is in half here. But right now I must also admit I'm roaming. You can see the R for 3G. So I'm using not a German SIM card, a Danish actually. So that could be the reason. Normally I get about 90%. And you also see the indicator for the battery and the clock. And overall I did not experience any problems with the Wi-Fi or network. But of course it can compete with the real brands like Samsung and HTC. These have better antennas. But still for the price I think it has excellent reception. And the quality also when you speak with people, I would call it average. Not super high end and super good, but also not the worst I have heard. It is about what I expected from this kind of phone. But the rear speaker actually surprised me a little bit because the sound quality in my opinion is a little bit above average, a little bit better what I'm used to here, but also again not super high end and super good, but I can hear it's more clear and has an okay quality actually, so not that bad. And as told in the beginning of the video, it does have a notification LED here in the top, you can see it right now, but I was only able to get it to blink in red for missing SMS and in green when the charger was connected. If more is possible, I'm not really sure about, because I was not able to get blue or other colors. And next up, let's have a look inside the camera app. So the app is just the stock one from MediaTek. It supports here picture-in-picture. We have HDR, we have the flashlight and the front camera. And let's first check out the autofocus. So you can see this is working fine. Let's see inside the settings. And the settings here are pretty normal and stock, I would say. Let me just scroll through these. Of course, we have anti-shake, gesture shot, smile shot, and so on. We have 16 megapixels, but I believe that these are interpolated. Preview size, let's try out the full screen. And we can see it goes down to 12. We have face beauty. And we just have normal settings again for the video camera, noise reduction, EIS and microphone, audio mode, time lapse and video quality to fine. So fine is the same as full HD, high is just HD. Let's try out some samples. Just scroll a little bit. And let me try to zoom a little bit in. Quality seems to be okay. So if you want to see some camera samples in full resolution, please check out the video description, because I will place a link there to some test samples. In my opinion, the camera does a really good job. The pictures are clear and sharp, and I think the quality is again above average, better than I have seen on other cheap phones. And here we test out the flashlight. So you can see the light is very white, and the LED is, I would say it's strong actually, not that weak. We are talking about a single LED. So for the size, and it's only a single one, I would say it gives very bright and strong light. And it also has good sound quality via the headphone jack. Music is clear with good bass, the volume is okay, but doesn't blow my ears away. And now to a test call. Proximity sensor is working fast.
You have 1 new messages, 1.
And let me try out the earpiece sound to the microphone.
To listen to your new messages, press 2. To listen to your saved messages, press 3.
Okay, so that was the sound here from the ear speaker. This one here is also loud and clear. So let us also have a look inside the settings. So we see the settings here, and it has hot knot support. So this is like NFC where you can transfer files. We have dual SIM cards, of course, and you can set each SIM card to the data connection. You can choose which SIM card you want to use for it, 1 or 2. We have home. So you can see here the Lancher 3 or the themed launcher that I'm using now. So here you can switch really quick. We have display, we have support for mirror vision, you can tweak the colors and color temperature. We have sound and notifications. Let's try to see inside. And here we see flip to mute, so you can flip the phone just to mute the call or the alarm. We find storage. Let's see the storage. Total 12.11 gigabyte. Available 9.39 gigabyte. So this is what you have to live with, because there's no possibilities to insert a micro SD card. but you can use USB OTG on the phone. If you want to transfer files or want to listen to music, you could do this just via the USB OTG with a USB stick. And we see you can mount the USB stick here. Let's get back again. And we also have the battery, we have apps. Let's see the RAM consumption. Free 1.2 GB of RAM. Totally the phone has 2 GB RAM. Let's see here for cached 1.1. Language and input. So the phone is multi-language, support all kind of languages. And further down we have accessibility. We have the smart gesture settings, and you can see right now it's enabled. Double tap to wake the screen, draw up to unlock, draw down to start up the other launcher. And we also have here O for launcher settings, C for the dialer, E for browser, M for music, and so on. And here we also see support for quick boot. And last we find the about phone. Let's see the build number. Actually I got one OTA update, wireless update on the phone that I applied. The phone actually came with 1.0, but now it's 1.1.1. Android version is as told 5.0, model number and wireless update. So that's it for the settings. So in the rest of the video I'm going to run some different test apps, show you some results and end this with a game test and my list of personal pros and cons. So if you want to know more, stay tuned. And now to my final list of pros and cons. First to the pros. It has an amazing compact design. It's very thin, only 7.1mm. It has Gorilla Glass 3 on both sides. It's comfortable and light in the hand. And the metal frame looks and feels very premium. For me, it is one of the best looking phones that I have had for a long time. And I love that it is just a 5-inch and not a 5.5-inch phone. This could maybe be a great successor for the iNew V3 that made iNew a famous brand back in 2014. The L3 reminds me a bit of the Yumi Zero in size and thickness, and also a bit of the Blackview A-Live S1 in terms of design, but the L3 just looks and feels so much better in the hand. Also these days a China phone with both a notification LED and touch buttons with backlight is actually rarely seen, so it is cool to see that the iNew L3 do offer both things. It has a built-in IR blaster that works great with my Samsung TV, and it has support for over 2800 different devices. It supports 1.5 amp fast charging, so it charges the 2150 mAh battery pretty quick. I didn't test it, but according to iNew, the L3 has a Nano-coating from P2i, a Nano Technology company that makes the L3 water resistant in a certain degree. It also has a very decent main camera with Sony Xperia sensor and 2.0 aperture. In my eyes, the pictures are a little bit above average, and the rear flash is also very strong. It comes with two launchers pre-installed, where one is near stock and the other one actually has support for extra themes, so there's a lot of nice possibilities to customize. The GPS with GLONASS support works stable and good. Also the phone has band 20 support for LTE, so that's nice to see. And last, it also features smart wake and some off-screen gestures, and these features are always nice to have. So to the cons are that the specifications are just average and should certainly not be the main reason for getting this phone, and the hardcore gamers should maybe instead go for an octa-core model. The cameras are good, but I don't give much for the advertising that claims OIS and super night shots, etc. For me, these things are just marketing gimmicks, so don't let it impress you. The camera app on the phone is just the standard one from MediaTek without any special features. It comes out of the box with Android 5.0 with OTA support, but I'm not really impressed with that because I already have seen other China phones come with 5.1 by now. Also, there is no pre-installed IR Blaster app, but I then just downloaded one from the Play Store, and with that it also worked fine. There are no possibilities to extend the phone storage, as the double-sided SIM tray doesn't support micro SD cards, only micro SIM cards are supported. Also, it only has 5 built-in sensors, no gyroscope or compass, but for most things okay. And last, the phone is very thin, and because of that, the battery is also not the biggest. 1 day is possible, but only with light usage. Power users who need a big battery should go for another phone, or at least also buy a power bank. But at least it also charges with 1.5 amp, so it will charge a bit faster than normal. That's it for the review. Remember also to check out my blog. You'll find the link in the video description. If you have any questions, please comment below, give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.